Don't mind me, just look at something. I think we're good. Real quick, before we officially get started here, gotta go grab something real quick. Yeah. Okie dokie. Hey, collects. Alright. Actually, before we swap it over, let me do a couple things. And then we'll get going. Casey's having fun upstairs. Alright, shrink that down. Hey, Lucian. Hopefully I said that right. Okay. Just wanna put this in the Discord. This is on Oregon, I'm confused. I was looking at the Discord chat, which is like, what the hell happened there? Anyways, let's set up Rangers. Welcome to the Geek Chest. My name's Steve. Today we're just going to be kind of working on a bunch of random stuff. More than likely, also probably tomorrow I'll be streaming, working on more random stuff. Might actually show you my sculpting process, because I'm currently... So, I was originally starting, we were going to try to make our own figure. The first one we were going to do is a Not Obsidious from Godzilla. I think it's Godzilla Unleashed. For the Wii. Is that what showed up? It's like the rock monster from the game. And I made the entire thing out of monster clay, because that's just the general medium that I like to use for sculpting stuff. It's usually what I use to make my beams. Problem is when I went to cast it for the silicone, it took me a minute to realize that when I was going to make the cast for the molds, I wouldn't be able to do them in two parts. I'd have to do it in one lump sum, because with the monster clay, you can't really adhere, like use other clays to make your impressions to make each side of the silicone mold, which is going to make problems, because then I have to make one big batch of silicone for the mold and hope to God something doesn't go wrong. Well, sure enough, something went wrong with the one I made. It was only little imperfections, but enough that it was going to mess with the thing. So, in hindsight, I probably should have done it in actual clay. So, I'm redoing the entire thing in clay. So, I'm resculpting it from scratch. So, I'm fixing a couple of things too that I want to do. For instance, I angled his head a little bit more this time instead of it being like straight up and down. It has a little bit of a lean to it. So, because I ideally want him to kind of be like, this is looking forward. And then same with the body. I'm going to try to make where his head attaches a little bit more angled downward. So he'll be a little bit more vertical than he was. But I redid the head. It's about the same size. I would say I made the head slightly bigger, because that was one thing looking at between the game model and what I made, is the body was going to be really big compared to the head. And I think his head should be really big. So it's about the same size, but I made the lips a little bit more defined this time. The back spikes I kept pretty much the same, and I kept the lava look on the side. So it's very crackly. Because my hope is when I do the resin pour, I'll be using more of like a translucent resin, so I could put some orange in with it. So the resin will be orange, and then I'll just have to dry brush the scales. Well, scales, but the rock parts. So it'll still have like the clear orange underneath. I think will look cool. My only concern currently is, after doing it, I think I probably should have made this part section a little bit more rounded. Probably won't really matter, but it is a thing that can happen. So this is all set. So when I make the mold now, I can make it vertical. Well, not even vertical. What I'll probably do is like the face and the spikes will imprint into the clay, and then I could pour the silicone over top of this, then flip it over, do the same thing. I will say it looks a little cleaner this time around because I was actually able. Because with monster clays, I have to keep going. Like I have to handle it a lot while I'm doing it, and I got to make sure I don't apply too much pressure. And it's hard because like even if you're holding it, it'll start like imprinting because with monster clay, if it's cold, it's hard. If it's warm, it's pliable. So the longer it touches your skin, the softer it gets. So you have like not a crap ton of work time with it. This, on the other hand, is super sculpty, which I've never actually really messed with myself. Like I said, most of my clay experience has been either epoxy or monster clay. So using this, I was able to. So what I did is I set up the head and the spikes, put just enough clay on there just so that there was a base for the body, and then I baked it. So then after baking, the front part of this is hard, the spikes are hard. So then I can hold on to this while sculpting the rest of this. And I'll have to do that with like every part. The only thing I'm concerned about is it's going to be hard to do that with the body. So what I'm thinking about doing is probably the same thing with the body is I might set up like the upper body, cure it, and then do the lower sections. And just make a base. The other thing I could do is like where the tail is, I could put a rod in there, and then I could hold the rod like a stick and do it all that way. The only problem is I'm worried about putting like wood in the oven, and I don't really want to use like a metal rod because it'll just be more of a pain in the butt. So I think what I'm going to do is just do each part in sections. So like the tail, I'll do the base of the tail and then do the tip as its own piece. Yeah, I think it came out really nice though. But technically, it's a little bit bigger. The other thing I like about it too is I kind of wanted it because he has the giant mouth, and I thought it was a little weird the way it was set up, where like the head was much bigger than the neck region. This looks a little more organic, which is odd for a rock monster. But this looks a little bit more like froggy, natural with them kind of roaring. You think like this would kind of expand downward. So that was another thing I wanted to do is kind of make this look a little bit more real next to it. It's like I said, I'm trying to keep it like the game, but I don't want to be. I'm not going to make it exactly like the game though. So hopefully it'll be cool. He'll still going to be a fairly large and in charge character. Yes, that's the Magma monster from Unleash. Obsidious, I think was his name. So that's what I'm currently working on. I didn't do as many cracks in the head this time either. I kept it a little more simplified. Nice thing is it's a little easier to do the detailing with sculpting than the monster clay. Monster clay, you really got to use like the cellophane wrap. Interesting. But yeah, so far, really pleased with the results. So my hope is over the next like few days, I'll do like a little bit here and there at a time working with it. Other things I did off camera is worked a little bit more on the shark. He has been sanded. He is nice and smooth boy. I started doing sort of like what you do with printer 3D printers to kind of hide some of your crimes. Is when sanding, there's still a little bit of scuffs in there here and there, but I don't really want to go like too much harder. So what I'm doing is I'm just applying some paint, lightly going over it with some sandpaper, and then hopefully the paint will fill in the cuts. So then when I primer it, he'll be nice and smooth. So that's one thing we got to do is apply a little bit of paint onto him. He also, I think like he doesn't weigh as much as I was thinking he was going to, but still, it's nice and solid now, for sure. But I'm actually going to use I used my primer. My primer is kind of, it's meant for an airbrush, so it goes on thinly. I need something that's going to go on kind of thick. So I think I'm going to use the apple barrel this time and just go over it with the gray from that. And we'll just cover the clay sections here. Actually, looking at it, I probably should sand this part down a little bit more. So we'll do that first. I threw some sandpaper on the floor. Oh, doing a good Godzilla fan. Glad you can make it. So there's a couple of sections here that probably, at least this section I just noticed, it's probably won't buff out with the paint trick. Ooh, I might actually have to go a little harder on that. Oh, where did I thought I threw all my paper up there. Going out with a little bit of a harder grit. Doobie-doobie-doo. These guys can't see what I'm doing a little bit here. Okay, that should probably be good enough. Okay. So I guess I got some apple barrel here. I don't even think I'm going to pour it out the bottle. I'm just going to stick the brush in the bottle. It's not like this needs to be clean because I'm just going to end up sanding it all off anyways. My water thing needs more water. Maybe I actually want to. It's not as full as I thought it was. Oh, they got a basin around here. Sounds like a or something. I just don't care about putting some paint on. Get a bit of gray on there. I'm just gonna roughly just go over the body here. Like I said, all I'm really trying to do is just fill in the scratches with some paint. And then I'll go back over it with the 400. Sand it all back down. And then hopefully the sticker paint will kind of fill in parts. So then when I go to primer it, should hopefully be pretty smooth. I could also use, they make a primer for specifically this, but sometimes with the can primers on the plastic, sometimes it tacks it up, and I just don't feel like testing that. So just slap some of this on. An old piece of paint hanging out there. Get off my brush. Get off my brush. There's always got to be something. Ingador 91 Mecha. That's pretty solid. Solid. To be fair, that's still ain't bad. The nice thing about monster charts is they're repairable. Oh, there's a couple times. Like I said, just to really lather on the paint here. Doesn't need to be pretty, doesn't need to be even. It's all coming back off anyways. It's nice and thick. So fill in details. Okay. I think I unhooked my heat gun. Oh, I didn't. Fancy us. It's kind of thick, so it's probably going to take a minute. Oh, yeah, it's kind of. I try to be at least pretty honest with my prices. Like, if something's not going to go up, I'll let you know. Um, Usually the prices I quote, I kind of expect to be doing some random stuff. It's a useful heat gun. I've had this thing forever. I've had this but since before we moved in here, actually. So it's heat gun's got to be like a good 9 years old around there. Hey, Brandon. Like, so you see, there's like some globs of paint here hardening and whatnot, and it don't matter. I just need this paint to be pretty thick. Oh, I do commissions. This is commission right here. So I'm being paid for this. For instance, like this one, when I quoted the guy, I quoted him like I was expecting to keep it articulated, just to find out that they didn't want it articulated, which meant more epoxy, which I wasn't quite factoring in. Plus, I already spent time working on it to keep it articulated, so that sucked a little bit. But they were kind enough, but I was just like, okay, whatever, I'll bite the bullet. I misread something somewhere. But they were kind enough to help me get some more epoxy. Plus, I usually like working on these things. I'm not really doing it like I don't make a living enough money off these to really make it my job. But I just like working on them. Plus, they make good videos. Okay, well, I think that's good enough that I can let it sit for a bit. Because what's gonna happen is I'll let this sit overnight, and then tomorrow when I work on stuff, I'll sand it down. So we'll just let that hang out. Hang out down here. Oh, sweet. Yeah, I was to say my forte is probably. I'd say I'm a little better at customizing, but I'm solid at doing the restorations and like matching paint and fixing things. But I'm more known for the guy that makes weird monster things and amalgamations. Or making my own stuff, like this guy here. Okay, so one thing I do actually want to try, and we could try this on stream. My day's going great. Got to work on some stuff. Like I said, I was sculpting this today, so this is the progress so far. We got the head done. Restorations are nice because Yeah, they're much faster. Generally, what I do is a little more time consuming. Let's see. So I need. You'll see my sculpting stuffs hanging out on the garbage can currently. Real quick, what's up over the chat feature? Scale. I think I have some green resin still. Probably should have looked before we started. Probably should grab some gloves just in case if there's some resin on the stuff. But with this Cheelai, I printed a couple extra Saiyan Scouters with the hopes that between these first two, I'm able to do a trick to make the actual light feature. Not light feature, but like to make the lens for it. I think I got some green hanging out around here still. That's red. Am I green? You're my green. Okay, we're doing green. We're good. Oh yeah, my green kind of leaked. That's what happened. Shake this bad boy up, and then we also need a piece of plastic. Funny enough, I actually have something right here we can use. So we're good there. Back to life. All right. Angle you downward. Still got the wood board here from the other day. Yeah, Obsidious. Yeah, that's his head. So I'm currently in the process of, I want to make a vinyl figure. Funny enough, I see somebody at Facebook made one already. We almost had it around the same time. But yes, I made a head sculpt for it. So this will be the head. Tomorrow I might work on the body because I think the body's going to be probably in the next. Like the limbs are a little time consuming, but I think with using the sculpting, it's actually be faster than Monster Clay because I'll be able to actually like do make the arm, do the shoulders, cure it, and I can literally drill in the wires for the fingers instead of having to sit there and freaking mess with them every single time. So that'll be nice. But yes, this is Obsidious. Hoping to do them in a clear vinyl. It's technically like a flexible resin, but that's the hope. So like I said, we baked the head, so the head's all good to go. I suck at 3D modeling. I could 3D scan it. I probably will do it with this one. The monster clay is a little bit more touchy because the more you touch it, it starts warming up and becomes a problem. No, he's gonna be he's gonna be like a Bandai vinyl. So I sadly don't have one down here as a reference if you don't know what I'm talking about. But like a Godzilla movie monster series where it's just like limited articulation. He'll be like in between like a monster series and an X Plus. Like you probably like I'm gonna make him a little more detailed than like your average monster arts. Or not monster movie monster series. But like size wise, he's gonna be like we were trying to make him more like an Orga. So he'll be like a little bit bigger than your average movie monster series next to a Godzilla. Yeah, I wouldn't say rubber. It's still gonna be like a decently hard, but he'll be hollow. So it'll be like, yeah, the arms and legs and the tail and the head. So the head will be able to go side to side. The arms will go up and down. The legs will technically be at an angle, and then the tail, you'll be able to rotate the tail. So nothing too crazy. Okay, so we're gonna take this. I have a little scouter here. Yes, yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm gonna try to. I'm not gonna. My plan is not to have to glue anything on, so he should keep all his movement. Is the hope. Okay, so we got the scouter here. I don't think I can zoom in really well. Oh, for a minute I thought I just crashed my laptop. Okay. I'm gonna try to move the camera without having to reset everything. Would be nice. All right, so you can see a little bit more I'm doing. But we got this tiny little scouter. And what I would like to do, if I still got a Q-tip hanging around, that's a thick boy. We don't want. I want thin. Crap! You know what? I think I took the thing upstairs. I had all my ones in it, but thankfully we found one here. Okay, so I need that. I need the UV light hanging out up here. Not smacking too many wires. Are you plugged in? You're not plugged in. You are that cable. Good to go. All right. So, bam. Okay, so we're going to take the scouter. I got some green UV resin. It's 3D printer resin. I was going to take a little bit of green, pour it in the cap. And then my hope is I can use the toothpick and just kind of fill in this lens here and just try not to move it around. Sort of like that. It's got a little bit extra. Okay, we're going to try not to shift it around too much. Then blast it with the UV. Oh no, I got an air bubble. Oh, it sort of worked. Okay, thankfully we got another one. But okay, so what I need to do is one. I didn't realize this was a dusty over this. Got we were standing here, so it's just like everything's on here. Okay. I need this to be upside down, so we got to do this at the corner. Actually, you got some monster clay hanging around? But some of this stuff I can't reuse because of the whole UV resin, not the resin, but the silicone situation. I'm going to take this monster clay and kind of just fill in. Around the edge of the lens is my hope. I have this hair attached. Just to try to keep it from moving around. If I do it this way, then the I need that not to go into the lens though. Okay. Same verse, the same as the first time. You just kind of wrap around. Just enough grip to keep that on. And a little bit more flush down. It's not as easy with doing this from the back. Okay, maybe I can do it that way. Okay, so I'm just gonna hold it. Kind of like so. And then we'll just add the UV resin. Okay. Now, well, we did get the air pocket this time, so that's good. We doing drugs what I miss. Feels like it. Oh no, I still got an air pocket. That's the goal. Ooh, I might be able to hide it though. Okay. My little spritzer around here. I'll stick a little bit of UV resin in a cotton swab. That'll do the trick too. Hey, there we go. Nice. And there we go. It's got a little green scouter lens. And then for the last scary part, which I might do later. First and foremost, I accidentally cured a little bit of green on the lens here, so I'm just gonna move this up here and I can fix it later. Deal with it later in a little bit. I just don't want the solid section going back into the resin cup. There we go. Okay. You can go back in your hole. Whoa. I do gotta trim it like just a little bit. But I think wherever I put my paints up here. Got a giant Ganon hanging out of my tub. Can't remember if I took my knife upstairs or not. Ooh, doesn't look like it did. Should be around here. Somewhere on this fudging table. I was like, see my junky one. We don't want to use the junky one though. So I'll wait. But at least it worked. I might even try to put like the little scouter symbols or something in there. It worked out pretty good. I think I handled it there. Okay. Next, we're talking about she needs a bigger chest. Which means I gotta pretty much pop everything back off. So what I probably do is expand this a little bit further down too. It's not 100% how I'm going. I could probably use some Warbler. Which I think I had something out here. Warbler. I don't need a ton of you. One of these days, I will sit here and actually like fully organize everything. It's like I get this all set up, and then in the course of like 2 to 3 days, everything is jacked up, and then I don't have any motivation to fix it until I get like annoyed enough. Just need a little piece. Now I got some hanging out right here. See? At the magnet. At the tail. Oh, actually, I gotta make sure I don't lose you. You're hatchet for rabbit man. Oh, I don't find that horrible quick enough. I'm probably gonna have to beat that one then. Yeah, I thought I just seen someone. I was mucking around with stuff up here earlier. I think I was going crazy. I think I was just going crazy. Okay, because my thought was I could just add a little bit of warble underneath, sculpt it, and then I can just the warble back off and be good to go. Oh, because I need something a little sturdier. Right? It's like I'll sit here, like I'll spend like an hour like cleaning up stuff, moving things around, getting out my stuff, and then over the course of like a couple of sessions, it's just like everything becomes royally jacked up again. Okay, well, anyways, we gotta pop all the clay back off. Make sure I got enough time to work on. I didn't want to start this and then be like, well, all good for today. I preferably want a tiny flat. Tiny flathead would be that'll work. So we're gonna pop off. Well, at least it's tough to pop off the epoxy. Problem is, like, once the stuff's on, it's on there. It is cured and good to go. So we're gonna pop your arms back out because I don't want to accidentally like jam the thing back into it. What I'll probably do is I'll probably just expand the outfit out, and then I'll worry about doing the like the bottom lump. That I don't know why that made me jump. It's a screwdriver. Like the worst it's gonna do is just be an ow. Okay. Probably need to take out this booby gap filler here too. This might be a little more challenging. I'm gonna be honest. Okay, that's good enough. Time to paint. I wish. There, you know, this like another set of gloves. If I'm fast enough, we might actually work Mr. Angerus's head today. So I do paint. It's probably gonna be like touching up Orga and doing his eyes today. I think would be my aim. Okay, I just need a little bit of epoxy. Nothing too crazy. It's not going to take a ton to really do her for what I want to do today. Actually, probably that's too much already. Make a little ball. Next section. Make a little ball. My ball is too big. Small. That is maybe still a little big. That looks pretty good. Okay. Never! The heads will never be done. Actually, I got them all cured now. I might work on them tomorrow. Might at least try to get a primer tomorrow. Hey, Glacius. Going good, going good. It's always so weird using new epoxy because it's just gave me new epoxy because I'm like, this is so soft. I'm used to making my fingers hurt by the end of this process. Okay, so we need first I need a picture. I don't want to go off that guy's figure. I know I had it in the Discord. So one thing I will say is it needs like a little bit more cleavage, but not a ton. I think I'm just gonna try to add like a little bit there, a little bit there. See where I get from there. Yeah, if you're doing like any kind of customizing, like this stuff is being freaking tastic. The ball. Like, I like to dump the thing on the floor for a second. Something. Let's see my flat one. Yeah, why does everything have my cat's hair all over it? Everything. I think the hardest part is just gonna be making sure it's not lopsided. Oh, hold up. All right, guys, I'll be right back. Wife's yelling at me for something. Okay, I'm back. For 10,000 years, I'm free. My daughter threw the phone at my wife and hit her in the nose. Is it? Oh, oh, Jesus. I almost took a dive. Was I gone for so long now I don't have my phone? Okay. It's got a little bit more going on up here now. You need to try to smooth that out a little bit more, though. Now, where the armor is, I still want it to kind of connect, but I need it to be. Sorry if I'm being a little too quiet. Trying to work on this. Not every day you get a request to work on some tatas, you know? I want them to be about the same width. I don't want to really increase that. We just want to make them more kind of rounded in the front. And then where I'm gonna connect the armor bit right there. It doesn't need to be more of like an indent, more so than try that in a little bit better. Yeah, the problem is like I'm following the shirt line is what I was going for, and like that's all the shirt there is to work with. And the way she's kind of set up in the, at least in the illustrations and stuff, like it dips down in the back too. Like it goes over the chest and under. So like that's how it's set up here too. So as I said, I gotta make the shirt longer to make it make, but the armor on her is farther down than what Launch's shirt was. So that's why I'll say like I gotta increase the shirt length. Because where they have the joint, it's just like there isn't a whole lot of room to work with. So I think I'm gonna do is just kind of get set up today, and then tomorrow I can add all the extra grooves. Like I can sand her down a little bit if I need to shape it a little bit better. So right now it's just more important about just making sure the shape's kind of right. So kind of like that. And then I can like file and sand a little bit tomorrow to make things just like a little bit prettier. Okay. No, it's getting that on. And like I said, I'm gonna. She has too like. There's too much stomach exposed here. So I'm just gonna take this. And just kind of go around the base of the shirt here. Too much. This is relatively the easy part because all this is I'm gonna just be like sanding when I'm done. But I just want to make sure it's relatively attached to the shirt, like a little bit extra, and then you literally just kind of work it around. Although this is not attaching nearly as well as I wanted it to. I just want to expand it like about that much. The underneath doesn't have to be super pretty. I just don't want it attached to the figure, so when I go to pop it off tomorrow and sand it down, I'm not having issues with that. And then that'll, like I said, it'll give me a lot more room to sculpt with a little bit. Doesn't need to be pretty, just good enough. That's going to hold. Yeah, because that gives us a lot more section to work with then. There's a sand in, fill it in some spots here and there. This is going to be the cleanest. Tatas are looking good. So, just going to leave that alone. I did want to. Well, I have this here. Oh, where did I sit those sand scouters? Or the other piece to it. So we got the backpack. I can't really mess with today. There's the. Well, what's the other one? What's the chunky one I don't want you? So we got that. We have the bottoms. So I'm gonna say, while I'm here, I can try to get these Saint Scouters sort of set up. Problem is, probably the laptop on it. It's looking like a no. Not good. Not good. Where the fudge did I brought them? I have a bad habit of I like to sit stuff on top of my epoxy putty tubs. Hello? You hide under there? Ugh. Hey, you come here. Phone out of the way. Camera also out the way. It shouldn't be the hardest thing in this. Oh, that sucks. Okay. Ugh. Oh, did I stick it? The struggle's wheels. The struggle is wheels. I didn't put them in the Titan armor. Good to know. What? I must have fell down. I'm gonna have to make it from scratch because I don't wanna. This is where I needed another figure that also like randomly. I don't think I got parts to anybody that had like Sand Scouter stuff. I sworn I put it up all right. This fell the other day. Oh, that's probably why I'm remembering now. That point. Okay, I'm gonna have to. How you going, Brandon? Oh, the Sand Scout, the earpiece. I was gonna try to see if I could what I need to do to make it work. So we're gonna flop you over here because I have to move the laptop. Like I said, where I had him sitting, I think fell down. They're probably somewhere in this jumble mess. God forbid I could find them. Well, because either way, I was going to have to do like a little bit of modifying to them because the way they were just positioned and the way I had to cut them off, it was just awkward around the ear, around the hair. So I had to remove like a little bit of it off. And I figured I was just going to putty it and call it a day. I have set them on here back for a chance. No, I don't. Okay. Ugh. Oh, found one. All right, we're good. We are hunky dories. All right, back to your laptop. Yummy, yummy, yummy. Hopefully the camera's still working. All right, cool. And as you'll see, it's like missing the little angle at the top. So I have to like add a little bit of putty right there, which I guess is probably what I should do first. Yeah. Oh, this is gonna be fun. Do I have a needle hanging around? Tweezers worked. Cool beans. All right, knocked over like half my sandy stuff. Tweezers. It's probably not going to be picture perfect. To what the scouter looks like, but I'm going to try my best to get it looking close. So sort of like that. That's like probably needs a little bit more putty right there. Let's try to fill it in a little bit. Ooh. I'll probably sand it like a little bit when when everything's all said and done. Hold on, guys. Jessica coughing from upstairs. Casey's starting to try to fall asleep. Oh yeah, the Super Soaker looks sick. Like I'm sort of excited for it. Now my only question is in the photos, the Saiyan Scouter is currently set up to be on this ear here, which on all the pictures it shows it on this ear here. So do you want me to try to get it on this ear, or are you okay with it still being on this side? Okay. I was like, because the way that's sculpted, it'd be easier for me to do it on the other side, this side here. Which I'm not realizing. I probably need to wait on this because I'll probably have to redo this whole thing. Looking at it, because there's no way that Scouter is fitting over that ear with that hair there. Oh, either way, I can do the other side, I guess. Since we're here. Hair, I need you to not stick to my glove. Oh, my gloves have too much epoxy on it. There we go. Yeah, like a little bit of that stream to hang out right there. I can squish this down and then figure out how I'm going to get it to sit there. Because right now there's like a slight gap, which honestly, that hair could probably go up a little, strand could go up a little higher. Right there. And not do what you just did and break off. Okay, just need to redo that. I didn't do really what I wanted. Honestly, the better plan is probably to Alright, we're just taking the gloves off. Let's say I can definitely get it there. I just don't know exactly how I'm doing it. Now, a bit of epoxy on that side. Okay, I think I'm trying to do this a little bit too difficultly. I think if I just expand the clay out, it'll look fun. No, it won't, because there's that giant glob right there I need to hide. Like that, and then hopefully that is good enough. There we go. Just follow that line a little bit. That will hide nicely. Okay. So we don't want to touch that side anymore. That side's good. Like I said, this side I'm kind of committed that I think I'm gonna have to redo these hairs anyways in order to get the scout around, but I'm gonna have to let this cure overnight, and then I can mess with it more then. Because this glues into here. I will have the full scouter. My hope is I'm just gonna carve the crap out of it. Do a little bit of sanding, carve the inside out, and hopefully, if I can, just the friction of hopefully just friction will keep it in the ear is the hope and the dream. So when you put the faceplate on, it'll just kind of sit there. That or I might have to like do a little bit of sanding to make it work, but we'll get it on there. So I was trying to make sure the line here, I'm trying to keep it as like sharp as I can. Okay. I think that's pretty good for tonight. We can go for like an hour and a half right now. So we got a little bit of progress done on her, a little bit of putty left. Oh, I gotta pose you. Yeah, I'm gonna go with that. Oh yeah, everything on the floor. That's great. Uh, get the mouth off real quick. There we go. Mouth is removed. This head should go right around here is where I kind of want the joint to be. I'm just gonna fill in some gaps here with the epoxy putty. I don't quite recommend doing this with no gloves on, but I mean, Wasted another pair. I'll just wash my hands. It's just this stuff will like adhere to your skin. If I do stream tomorrow, though, it's more likely probably gonna be a lot of painting. I don't know how much sculpting I'm gonna really do tomorrow outside of like I mentioned, working on the figure. Gotta leave that. Make sure I leave that hair alone. Hey, I just got a little bit on the inside of the mouth. Maybe. It's clay. Just kind of stuff it in there. It's your boy. Stuffing them full of epoxy. Giggity. Yep, yeah, as I say, I still got the tail painting out here. I was hoping to work on it the other day, but I ain't got around to it yet. But yeah, I forgot. We're making them much bigger. How 360 for the memorial box doesn't sound like a bad price. Then again, I know the Gamera one's like I don't want to say cheap, but it's cheaper than the Godzilla for sure. But funny enough, I kind of like the Anguirus one more. Uh oh, where'd I put it? Hey, this bag. This bag. I was like, I know we were redoing the teeth. Was it these teeth? These teeth we were going with? Yeah, these look good. Good question on the big bad one. I'm not 100% on that. The only thing I would think is if you have, I'm not 100% on import fees and stuff for the UK, but you probably got to pay those before they'll deliver it to you. But outside of that, I don't think there should be any other delays other than that. The only thing I hate about Glazy Glue is stuff over Loctite is this stuff is so runny. You know, everything else glued on real fast. Why is the back teeth not wanting to? I don't know if I got any glue there, actually. That might be my culprit right there. It's like I have a little bit of epoxy left. I was like, if I can just wrap it around the lips to make a little bit of a gum line, I'd be pretty happy. Yeah, you're here. Nobody likes you. And now, why did I touch it? Oh, probably. I don't think that'd be a problem. Okay. Let's go with the bigger one. A little bit of water. Just fall on the edge here. Help remove some excess clay. I was kind of going around with my little pokey bit and just cleaning up around the teeth. Some of the access went up into the teeth instead of down around the mouth. But same thing, just gonna kind of packing this in around the lip area. Trying to spread the clay upwards and out. Using the brush to kind of smooth it out, get any excess clay off. And I really don't want it hanging out. Now we've got some sharper teeth. Yeah, it'll probably help in that regards, making them not look so final warsy. But then again, the elongated spikes on the back are probably going to help with that too. Do I have enough patience to try to do these bottom teeth? Ooh, bottom teeth might be a little bit tougher. Ooh, I like these ones though. These ones are cool. It's like weird crocodile looking ones. Those are fire. Make them look gnarly. Oh, funny enough, those might be the ones, anyways, because they got them. They're the most like rounded out. But I'll have to wait for another day. Okay, so we got Anger's head set up. We got Cheelai mostly figured out. She'll probably be hopefully wrapped up sculpty-ish tomorrow if I do end up coming down here and sculpting for a bit. Also gotta get her backpack on her hips. Well, this is just, I gotta sand this off and then glue it on. It's probably gonna be it. Ooh, you might want that removable though, yeah. I got some magnets. I might be able to work something out with that. So like I said, that'll be more of a tomorrow thing. Trying to figure all that out. But anyways, you can almost defeat those guys just by hitting that like button. Subscribe, become a ranger today. We also got Instagram, Patreon, TikTok, Facebook. Guys, like you put the day channel donate. Greatly would appreciate it. Because like I said, I do want to do some more painting because Orga's pretty much done. I did his face the other day. See, he's got the blues. And I did a bit of a wash in some areas to help highlight the blues a little bit more. But he's mainly just like, I gotta dry brush his fingers so they're a little more gray. I gotta do his eyeballs and the inside of his mouth and just clean up a couple parts. And then he's done for painting wise. And I really want to start on the rabbit. Because he's been primed for like a week now. I really need to get around to getting his like colors on him. Monster took his finger. It did. It's the one that keeps popping off. I gotta glue it back in. You know, actually, that's one thing I can do real quick. Actually, hanging out in the tub. Alright, keyword was hanging on the tub. There it is. I was like, the stupid thing fell off. Like, I was upstairs trying to take it off, so I just like dropped it in the bucket. Okay, so just a little bit of glue right around the end here. Insert that guy back in. Because his fingers don't need to rotate. They just need to go up and down. That's all they need to do. That is all I require of them. But yeah, he's looking pretty fire. But we got a dashery down below if you guys like to get our logo on some apparel. We got some shops for some places if you want to buy your collectibles. For instance, Entertainment Earth does free shipping over $80. It's a great place for any place or anything stateside that you can utilize the free shipping. Is my easy go-to for that. And if you guys are picking up high-end Godzilla figures, Calcus is my go-to. You save 6% off your order. Go Steve Calcus at checkout. They are fantastic. And we also got Etsy. Got some beams and stuff on there. It's getting kind of dwindled on what I got on there currently. I really got to sit down and print some more beams too. I was kind of busy with some other projects that I got going on right now that I want to do. I'll see you guys in the next one.